Welcome to Live in the Know. Today, we are excited to have a local photographer with us who had a big idea that has taken the world by storm while so many people are stuck in their homes.
Cara Soulia, along with her friend Kristen Collins, came up with the Front Step Project as a way to give neighbors something fun to do and look forward to while also supporting a great cause. As a professional photographer, Cara started taking portraits of families on the front steps of their homes from a safe distance and giving them the photos so that they can have a memory of their family during this unique time. In turn, all they asked for was a voluntary donation to the Needham Community Council.
So this quickly took on a life of its own, and the rest is history. So let's invite Cara Soulia on board to share her story and help us all live in the know.
All right, so we're here with Cara Soulia, the photographer and creator of Needham's Front Steps Project. Cara, so great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So first off, how did you come up with this amazing idea, and how quickly did you realize that you were onto something?
So I am a newborn and family photographer here in Needham, Massachusetts. And as you can imagine, the world kind of stopped on March 12th when schools shut down and a lot of people started working from home unless you were working in healthcare. So as a photographer, I was thinking to myself, kind of, what am I going to do now? And because all of my work stopped. And also, I felt this need to kind of document what was happening. I just really wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And a good friend of mine, Kristen Collins, called me late one night after the schools shut down and everybody started working from home. And she said, I have this crazy idea. What if we start documenting this by photographing families at their homes? Because for the most part, unless you're working in healthcare or you're an essential worker, your family's home. Everybody's home together, whether they like it or not. And we went back and forth for about 24 hours trying to figure out logistics, how we would do it. And we tested out the idea with some friends to see what their response was and if they thought it was a good idea. And I actually went to some friends' houses and took some pictures so I would have some content when we launched this project. And we decided to pair it with a charitable action so that rather than charging any money to anybody, we would ask them to make a good faith donation to the Needham Community Council. And we're not tracking people down and forcing them to donate, but we're just suggesting that they make a donation, and it has been an overwhelmingly popular thing and a success throughout Needham. So I would say that, we went back and forth for 24 hours. We came up with the idea. We launched officially on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And within 24 hours, we had over 100 families sign up in Needham. Wow. And we quickly brought on 2 other photographers in Needham, Katrin Dunphy and Topher Cox. And that truly was the key to our success, because there's no way I could have handled the amount of families that we have photographed. Over the course of the first 10 days of the project, we photographed almost 500 families. And as a mom of 3 kids, there's no way I could have done that all by myself. So we have a fantastic team with Kristen and 3 photographers, and it has been just an amazingly successful project thus far.
So Cara, that sounds incredible. I mean, it's really such an inspirational story, what you have been able to accomplish, from your backyard there. The question we have for you is, do you know how many families in total you've already done in Needham? And have you given any thought, or is there any accounting for how many in the country have been taken, and even globally? Yeah,
sure. So one of the things that surprised us, we didn't actually intend this to be anything outside of Needham, but with the way social media is, I have a lot of photographers that follow me, and they saw the idea and began quickly messaging me to say, hey, that's a great idea. Do you mind if I replicate it? And it quickly spread throughout the United States and Canada, and we've had a few photographers in other parts of the world even participating. So within Needham, we've photographed almost 500 families. We still have almost 200 families on our waiting list. We've paused right now just with the stay-at-home order. And globally, we know that we have at least 200 to 300 photographers participating. I'm sure it's more than that. It's a little hard to quantify. With social media, we're looking on the hashtag. We can see 15,000 photos that are tagged with the Front Steps Project. So we know that there have been 15,000 families or more that have been photographed throughout the world as part of this project. And there's money being raised throughout all of these communities for various things, such as food pantries, animal shelters, hospitals, first frontline responders. All sorts of different organizations are receiving money because the photographers using their talent and their skill to give back. And it's been a way for me and for all the photographers in other communities to provide this kind of this avenue for people to provide support to their communities. So a lot of people, they want to help and need them, but they're not quite sure how. So this has provided that it's like an easy way to support Needham Community Council. And in exchange, you get a great family portrait that you will always look back on and remember this time in your family's history.
Cara, you hit it on the head. 15,000 tags that you've seen across the world. What did it feel like when this was no longer just Needham and it was across the country and expanding across the whole globe?
Yeah, it's been surreal. That's like the #1 word. I just can't believe this is happening. I keep saying, what life is this that I'm living? You know, where all these media people are contacting me and wanting to know the story and tell the story. My inbox, I can hardly keep up with it, with the hundreds of messages from photographers through Instagram and Facebook, just direct email, so many messages of positivity with people saying, thank you so much for this awesome idea. This has allowed me to raise $5,000 for my local food pantry, and I couldn't have done it without your idea and without your support. And so it has been just so surreal and so fulfilling, and not at all how I thought I was about to spend the next few weeks of my life. Like, I just thought, oh, okay, I've got to get through this time at home where we're all stuck here. And little did I know this whole project was going to take over my life, and it became a full-time job for sure.
Well, it's incredible, you know, and I think it's brought joy to many people. So it's really wonderful what you guys are all doing. So we did a little search. We did a search on GoFundMe for the Front Steps Project, and over 900 different fundraisers came up, which is incredible. It's such an incredible phenomenon. Do you have any idea, you know, well, first, I guess, how much have you guys been able to raise with this? And then do you have any idea of how much has been raised by, you know, in total, all the other fundraisers for Front Steps Project?
So for Needham Community Council, we have a GoFundMe set up, and through there we have $22,000. And that was all raised in the first 10 days of the project. Like I said, we're no longer taking families just for the stay-at-home rule. So we know that there have been other contributions that didn't go through GoFundMe. So we're estimating we're close to $25,000 for Needham Community Council. And then throughout the country and Canada, that's primarily where the photographers are. We are slowly collecting data, and their money is still coming in, but we're estimating right now $125,000 total. I'm sure it's more than that. It's a little bit of a tedious process to collect all of the data, so we're working on it, and I anticipate the number to continue to go up.
Well, I do truly want to applaud you, because that's unbelievable. That's awesome. So you can definitely feel good about yourself right now. Now, the big question I'm sure everyone's asking, and we would be remiss if we didn't either, what's the plan with all these photos? Is there going to be a huge book? Are you going to make a collage, put it on a big canvas that's going to go in a museum to document these times? What are we going to do?
So we added a little bit. I mean, with the day that has as much time to brainstorm the future as we would like, but definitely there will be a book for Needham for sure. Awesome. Just to document our town and this effort and all the families that participated. As far as more than that, we're not totally sure. I love the idea of maybe doing an exhibit to showcase some of these photos. But it's just something we're still talking about, but it's definitely on our radar. We need to make plans for what are we going to do with all these amazing photos that we've all taken. It's such a story to tell.
Yeah, I think that would be incredible. You know, I know with my kids, we're going to, you know, put something together for them to kind of answer questions about what we've been doing during this time, just so when they look back on it, you know, they'll have, you know, some positive memories of it. So the mainstream media has really, really picked up on your story. It sounds like you've been talking to CNN, USA Today, NBC. What's been the most fun thing to happen, and what has been, how has it been with the media?
So that's something I've never experienced before. I mean, just in my whole life, I've never been part of something that has been so in demand by national news. It started off small with a segment on NECN, just the local Boston NBC News, and it was flagged for a national story. And that's kind of where it all started. And then I was working on the project one Sunday afternoon, and I got a text from a CNN reporter, and it was so surreal to me. I yelled out the window to my husband in the driveway. I'm like, CNN just texted me. This is crazy. And they did an article, and it went onto their US section on the CNN website. And from there is when it really exploded, and people started to contact us from all over the place, wanting just a spot on radio, podcasts, news stories, local radio station hosts from Seattle, like from all over the place, wanted to hear from us and wanted us to be on their shows. So I would say like the most interesting thing about all of this is just that we're all kind of in the same boat. We're all in our homes. Even these big national news anchors are all doing a lot of this from their homes. And like I've had phone calls with reporters and heard their kids in the background. And it's just like, we're all the same. We're all human beings, parents. We're all just trying to make it work. We're all working from home and juggling the same demands. And I just found that really interesting and kind of comforting that we're all kind of the same. Even if you're Amy Robach and I'm interviewing with you on national news, like you're still a human being too. And so that's been really interesting and kind of fun about it. Just they're real lives.
It's funny you talk about we're all at home, we all get our kids and all that. So I'm amazed that we've made it through this far with none of any of our kids coming through. So
I am too.
knock on wood. But it is all about people who are at home. So and the family experiences. So I'm sure you've run into some pretty cool, fun, emotional experiences with some of the people you've photographed. What's been some special stories?
There are so many things that have happened during those 10 days for all three of us photographers as we're out on the streets of Needham. I mean, first of all, like I know all the streets so much better than I used to, driving around all over the place. And just meeting so many people, like maybe I'd heard their name before, but I didn't know their face, and just making so many connections with neighbors. And that has been so fun. And I can say that every family that comes out on their front steps is so joyful. Like they've been stuck at home with their family and their family only and no other people. And they're all so excited to see me because it's something out of their normal routine. So maybe they got dressed for it, or they took a shower. It was a reason to get outside and get some fresh air. And, we're always standing so far away, extreme social distancing, 15 to 20 feet away, but it doesn't matter. Like they're just so excited to see me. So many smiles. And in particular, like I can think of one family that had so much fun with it. The dad was kind of like dragging behind. Mom and all the kids were out on the steps, and mom's yelling, "Come on, what's taking you so long?" And he comes down the stairs, and I can see him, and she can't. And he does this, shh, and he's dressed head to toe like Larry Bird, and he has on like blonde wig, and it is so funny. And she doesn't know that he's dressed like that, and she's standing there waiting for the picture, and he steps in behind her, and she just looks out of the corner of her eye like, "What are you doing?" And everybody laughs, and it's just like one of the best photos because it's just like they're having fun with it. And it's okay to have fun a little bit during this time. So there's been things like that. Lots of people in PJs and slippers, just showing their real life. Some people have had so much fun with it. There was a family that Katrin photographed that it was the daughter's birthday, and they did this big rainbow balloon arch over the front steps, and it was just like so memorable. Like she'll never forget that birthday. It was such a beautiful picture. And then like there's been the emotional things of photographing families with healthcare workers. I have a number of images of parents in scrubs just coming off their shift. and how challenging this is, because not everybody is home all the time. Like, some people have to go to work every day, and it's not always an easy thing. In particular, get in touch with Real here in Needham and arranged to do a front steps photo with them, where they had 9 doctors come out of their ER and stand on the emergency room steps. And it was so moving and emotional. Like, they were all in their blue scrubs and they all had their masks on. They all spread out 6 feet apart. And I felt so honored to take the photo. And I have goosebumps everywhere, just even like retelling this to you. It was so powerful. And it's actually on the Beth Israel Facebook cover page right now, cover photo right now, so you can see it after. But it was just that, seeing them all walk out of the ER door together was like, it was like watching an army of people come out, and it's like, these are the people that are protecting us. And it was so moving. It was definitely one of the highlights of all the photos I've taken.
Well, my eyes are filling up just even listening to you describe it, so I can only imagine what it was like being there in person. But what a beautiful picture, and I'm sure that Israel and the doctors really appreciate you documenting that. So can you give us an idea? I know that the project is on pause right now. Are there any? Do you know how long you're going to keep it on pause? And are there things can get back a little more to normal?
Yeah, I mean, we're all disappointed that we had to stop, because the families love it so much and it gives us something so fun and joyful to do. But we knew it was the right thing to do. When the governor made the stay-at-home announcement, we paused, and we communicated that with the families on our waiting list. We have almost 200 families still waiting, and they understand. They just have to be patient. The news changes every day. And we know we can't go out anytime soon. Like, it's just what it is. We have to just wait until it's safe for us to be out. Even though we were always maintaining extremely safe distances, it's still, we're not staying home, the photographers. So we needed to make the decision to stay home. And as disappointed as we are that we can't be doing it right now, we know it's the right thing to do. So for now, we're paused. We've communicated that with the families on the wait list. We will get to them. Like, there is no doubt in my mind. I will make sure every single family on that list gets their family photo, even if it's not for another month or 2. Like, it's going to happen. It's just, we don't know when, and everybody just needs to be patient.
Well, we're on that wait list, and we are hoping that it gets done. But we understand why there's a wait list and why you're not doing it now, and respect and appreciate that. So just one final comment and question from me. I think the beauty of what you're doing and why it gained so much steam so quickly is because you're doing 2 things. You're not only giving the folk, the public, the people, you're not only giving them a service and providing the photo and giving them something to remember, but you're also giving back to the local community, which is so important and appreciated by everyone and really needed at this time. But so speaking of giving back to the local community, I'm curious if you're doing any takeout, or delivery, what your go-to restaurant here in Needham or go-to restaurants have been.
Well, there's a number of favorites. It depends on who you ask in my family. But I mean, my favorite is Pad Thai from the Rice Barn, and we all, excluding my 5-year-old who doesn't like spicy stuff, we like Indian from Masala Art. And then, like, the crowd pleaser is, of course, Needham House of Pizza. You can't go wrong with cheese pizza.
I love it.
But those are 3 of our favorites.
Well, you're talking to 2 pizza junkies here. Jared and I, that's actually our favorite food. And we literally go from like pizza place to pizza place, trying it out. So we appreciate the Needham House of Pizza.
Yep.
We just want to say thank you so much for coming and being on with us. We know that you're being pulled in 100 different directions, and mainstream media is called, other podcasts, and we just really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Both of us are local, and we love hearing and seeing what you're doing. It's been a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being on here.
Cara, this was awesome. Thank you again. Thank you so much for everything you're doing, and good luck.
Thank you.